So let me share the slides. And I'm calling the session Managers Acceleration. It's an accelerator. An accelerator because we want you to move to senior manager very fast. We want to accelerate your success. We want you to speed up. Remember, the view is best at the top. The higher you go, the bigger the steps that you make, the more money you make. And that is what we all want. We want to make money. And by the way, what is the main difference between our business and a job? Now, when we come into the business, we all have entry point, entry behavior. We are coming from the world of employment, maybe, and perhaps even a business, which is very different from the business that we are doing here. But for now, we'll not contrast the other businesses and this business. We'll just compare and contrast the business that we're doing here versus the job, if you are employed. Some of the quick factors to consider here is like the education, Education is important, but it's not a requirement in our business. So for the job, it's a major factor. For us, it's not a major factor. Actually, some people who have not been lucky to be educated have ended up being super successful because it's not about the level of education, but the willingness to succeed. What about age? You bring in anyone of any age as long as they are over 18 and they are alive. Those are the two extremes, over 18. And on the other extreme, they are alive. Income, I love this. In a job, it's your boss who defines how much you should be paid. And you cannot do anything about it. But in your business, you dictate the amount you want to earn. And by the way, I challenge us to learn how to maximize on our bonuses so that you can be able to earn as much as you wish, because there's no ceiling. One thing I was told when I was building my business is that Neolife writes for me an empty check, and then I fill in the amount of money I want in there. Isn't that wonderful? But then you need to master the art. You need to master the skill of doing it. You promote yourself in our business. You decide, okay, this month of December, I'm going to take my business to senior manager, to director, and no one can stop you from promoting yourself. You are the CEO of your business. There is a lot of recognition in our business that lacks in the job. I almost said journey of the broke. And then retirement, you retire when you want. In employment, it's compulsory, but here it's when you want. Security, you can be fired anytime in a job, but in our business, no one can fire you. It's you either to do it or not to do it. So you can fire yourself by not doing it. Right? And our business is a big asset. It generates you income, very little expenses, if any, unlike in a job setting. So when you now look at those differences, you want to give your business the seriousness that it deserves, more than even your good job, right? Very, very important. So having looked at the differences, I want us to go through something we call compensation plan. Compensation, when you hear of compensation plan, what should come into your mind is money, payments. How are we paid? Okay. How are we paid? That's very, very important. For the terminologies, these are simple. I'm sure during your business launch, you were taken through these points and point values. The language that we all know is PV. In Nigeria, they say PV means poverty vanish. But the actual meaning is point value assigned to every product. Those are the points that will take you from one level to the other. And the points you get by buying products in your name, whether for your own use or for a customer, we call them personal. So personal PVs are the ones you buy in your name. The opposite is team points. That is QPV, team points. Not now necessarily personal, but together with your team. So it's your personal plus your team. And when such points in your entire organization gets you to 4,000 points, then you are called a director. So why we are saying here it excludes your director is because if you are a director and you have a director in your organization, then the qualified point values will not include those of your director, although you'll also be paid from the director. BV is often used when you are being paid if you have qualified for a pay. So the PV determine the percentage that will be multiplied by the BV, and that is your income. So depending on how many PVs you have, these are the percentages here down that you are paying. So 250 points, if you have 250 points and you are a manager, you must be a manager and above to be paid. If you're not a manager, then you're not being paid. Even if you get 400 points with your team, if you're not a manager, you are not paid. So 250 points, you are paid at 3%. 3% of what? Your total BVs, bonus volume. 500 points, 5%, then 1,000 is 10%, 15%, 20, 25%. It's good to note this so that any month you find yourself with 1,900 points, you know you are lacking only 100 points to get to 2,000. So instead of being paid at 10%, you push just a little bit to the next level so that you are paid at 15%. Of course, you know the ladder from distributor going up, and every level has its own benefits. When you just join, you are called a distributor, yes, and you access all these benefits like the discounts when you're buying products. You are able to order directly from Neolife because you have your own back office, that is website, free trainings, the way we train you. That's why I tell people when you introduce people to these products, even if they don't want to build it as business, listen to this, even if they don't want to build it as business, encourage them to just be part of your team in the name of they will be buying at discounts. But you know what will happen? They will also start accessing trainings, and that is how they will build up dreams that they want to achieve through this opportunity. So someone might join just as a customer, and they end up being a director in your team. So it's better when they are buying directly when they're in your team than when they are just customers out there. However, if they totally don't want even that, then I just have them as your customers. So there are, of course, two ways of becoming a manager. Some of you became managers by buying products for 250 points. Personal, the products you buy in your name. But the other alternative is you accumulate 500 points with your team. When we talk of working with your team, remember you must always have your own 100 personal points. What would happen if the team gives you 500 points and yours are 99 personal points? What would happen? The team has given you 500 points. You have done 99 personal points. So what is the total? 599. But you are not a manager. You are not even going to be recognized as a qualified distributor because you don't have 100 personal points. So very, very important that you always have more than 100 personal points if you are to inherit the points from your team. And the benefits of being a manager are there. If you have 250 points, you're paid at 3%. But if you have 500 points, you're paid at 5%. Then you get manager pin. If you don't have the pin, you can always alliance with your director to get. If you're not in Nairobi, let's say like Stella in Nyeri, then when you come for the Superstars Team Convention on 11th of March, we'll pin you at the KICC. And by the way, as a manager, you cannot afford to miss an event like the KICC. So I'm tempted to check on the list of participants and ask, who amongst us has not registered for the Superstars Team Convention? Because it's not expected that any single manager and above is not registered for the convention, okay? All right, so then let's move on. If you have not registered, make sure you do tonight. Senior manager is your next step. From manager, your next step is senior manager. By the way, why should you step up to senior manager instead of just remaining as a manager and qualifying at the title of manager with 500 points and enjoying your, 1,000 or 2,000 Kenya shillings every month when you qualify at your title? Why should we step up to senior manager? I will give you one reason that you will not see in the literature. And that reason is you inspire your team to also step up, to grow. When your team sees that you are growing, you are taking steps, you're being recognized, believe you me, they will be so inspired and motivated to also take steps. What about those who have not joined your business yet? And they hear that, oh, you are being recognized all over. You are now being celebrated as a senior manager. Then they are encouraged to join you. You know, some people will just stand on the periphery to see whether it works for you. If it works, they join you. If it doesn't, then at least they will feel secure and safe that they didn't join something that is not working. So that's the first reason why I tell people to step up to the next level, and you keep stepping up. But there are all these other benefits of becoming a senior manager. Of course, senior manager you become in two ways. Important for managers to note. You can become a senior manager by doing 500 personal points. Somebody might ask me, now, can I use the 250 points I did last month and I earned 250 points this month to make it 500? But the answer is all the points we ever talk about are in 1 month. 1 month. And in any case, last month you were paid from the 250 personal points you got. So you cannot again consider the points you were already paid for, last month in this current month. So the second way of becoming senior manager is 1,000 points with your team. But remember, you must have not less than 100 personal points for you to inherit the other hundreds of points to take it to 1,000 as your QPV. So if you have 500 points as a senior manager, personal, you are paid at 5%. But a senior manager with 1,000 points, you're paid at 10%. Then there is recognition and all that. And by the way, although the company has not announced this, I must mention as early as now, for the first time ever, the company will be taking the senior managers who are doing well in the 5-star hotels. That has been a reserve of directors and executive managers. So let's make sure that this month, at least we step up to senior manager, so that come January, will be part of the lifestyle that we'll be enjoying. Then you get senior manager pin and all that. Executive manager is the step between senior manager and director. This is where you accumulate 2,000 points, whether personal or with your team, whichever way, but in a whole month. When you hit executive manager, man, you are too close to director. And you can do that even within your first month or second month. You are paid, you get all the benefits of a senior manager. You are paid at a higher percentage, 15% if you're at 2,000 points, or 20% if you're at 3,000 points. You see, even 3,000 points is still executive manager. Anything between 2,000 points all the way to 3,999 points. Then you get the recognition of an executive manager. You are pinned that pin of a senior manager. You attend executive manager training. And you are on your way to director. Okay. The dream of every person who joins us is to quickly get to director level. Director level. And as a manager, you must understand in and out how to become a director. If I take people who did 250 personal points last month, whether you did 250 personal or 500 last month, then you did what we call opening director window. And that means you can become a director this second month if you do 4,000 points with your team. So director, there are all these ways. The first one is the normal one. If you look at your compensation plan, and this is the only way that we had when I was becoming a director. Today, there are all these other ways. So it's much easier than it was our time. So you accumulate 10,000 points within 6 months. But that requires that you first be a senior manager so that you start accumulating the 10,000 points in 6 months. But all those 6 months, you must never have less than 100 personal points. If you see someone doing less than 100 personal points, that person is not building business. They are not serious. You know, sometimes it's good that we really share the must-dos, the things that you must do for you to become a director, so that by all means, you don't miss anything. So you must always have more than 100 personal points if you are using this method one of accumulating 10,000 points, right? And the last month, you need to have 4,000 points. So you've done 1,000 points the first month, you have remained 9,000. You do 2,000 the following month, you've remained 7,000. You do 3,000 points the other month, you've remained 6,000. I mean, sorry, you already have 6, so 4,000. And you do 4,000 points, you are a fully qualified director. It can be done in any way, as long as the last 1 month, you have 4,000 points. But the other ways are, you can become an executive manager by having 2,000 points with your team. Then the following month, immediately the following month, you do 250 personal points, and the team gives you more points to take it to 4,000 points that month. You've become a fully qualified director. But the last method is for our very new distributors. If you sponsor somebody this month of December and they do 250 personal points, then they have opened director window so that the very following month, if they do again 250 personal points and 4,000 points with their team, then they have also become fully qualified directors. Those are the 3 ways of becoming a director. And it's good that we understand and teach our teams. Okay. Then the next thing is good on sponsoring. Have you heard the language of building an empire, where you have such a big network that it becomes one of the biggest assets for you? So that even if you'll never work, just sit back and go for holiday, you'll be earning residual income, huge amounts. Then, if you want to do that, please, a superstars team, the strategy is simple. Don't just sponsor anyhow. Have a target of never doing less than 3 in 30. 3 in 30 means sponsoring 3 people every single month. I know someone will tell me, oh, it's challenging. You talk to people, they are not joining. But you see, it's about doing it until you master it. Today, I saw one of our managers in Nairobi. You know, in only one single meeting, having more than 3 guests sitting and listening to the presentation. She's prospecting big time. That is Susan Murray. So that tells you that it's possible if you massively prospect and invite as many people as possible and do many one-on-ones, all these things. Otherwise, if you just sit and you're talking to only one person, and then you are like, oh, there are no people to sponsor, the problem is not the people, it's you who is doing things at a very small scale. So you sponsor 3 people, the first time you are recognized for 3 in 30, pin. If the 3 people have 100 personal points that month of joining, then that is called 3 in 30, 1 star. And you are given some gifts in addition to the pin. If you repeat that the second month, that is 2 star. You get a different Neolife branded gift. That is a clutch pencil. The first one was a pen. The third month, you're being given 3 in 30, 3-star pin, and you're given a 5 folder. If you repeat the 4th month, 4-star, you are given an A4 folder. And now when you do the 5th time, then you are given a backpack, which is branded. And you are called a superstar, 3 in 30 superstar. And that is where everyone should target getting into. So let's do the sponsoring in a systematic way, dear team and managers, if you want to build a very solid business. And that applies even for me, even for the directors like Muna there. Everyone, you keep sponsoring 3 people in a month, you are 100% sure that your business will skyrocket. You are building an empire. Today, I have a team of over 20,000 members, but I didn't go looking for them. I just got the discipline of sponsoring not less than 3 in a month. But then as they continue sponsoring, then it becomes a whole empire. So let's do the 3 in 30 every single month religiously, and let's preach it to our teams. As managers, we have the basic business building, nuggets, things that we must do every day if we want to succeed. The very first one is, of course, list of names. This is what happens. Someone saying that if you are given 5 hours, 6 hours to chop down a tree, out of the 6 hours, you should use, that is Lincoln Abraham. He says that he would use the first 4 hours to sharpen the axe, and the other 2 hours to cut the tree down. That's wisdom. Instead of spending the entire 6 hours struggling to cut the tree down, and it will not go down because the axe is not sharp, Why not spend 4 hours first to sharpen the axe, and you are sure you will not even you go for the other 2 hours to cut it down. You spend even a lesser time. That is now what we call list of names. You first be sincere with yourself. Do you have a long list of your friends that you want to be approaching to bring into this business? If not, you'll have a very hard time and a very disorganized way of approaching prospects. So have a list of names. Then you start now contacting them smartly and inviting them to meetings. That is where you now ask them, if I showed you an opportunity that would help you to earn additional income and ultimately financial freedom, would you be interested in hearing more? If they say yes, now you invite them to the meeting. If it's like in Nairobi, then you tell them, now this Saturday, I'm inviting you for a very special 1-hour session at 12:45, right at CBD, Market Mansion, then floor room 306. Please commit to be on time so that you can learn how it works. As simple as that. You go to the other person, and so on and so forth, and you do it massively. Then, conducting one-on-one meeting with your prospects. Some people, you'll not have to bring them to the general meetings. You just sit with them over a cup of tea or whatever, and you take like 15, 20 minutes to show them how the business works. But of course, for you to do that, you need first to share your story in very few seconds, a minute or so. How was your, if it's health, how was your health before? How is it now? If it is business, what were the challenges you were experiencing? And why did you join the business? And what have you achieved? The very starting point is your ID. Who are you? In case this is someone from social media, you've not known each other before. Okay. For health, you use wellness triangle. It's the simplest, it's the easiest, where you show them how we should eat according to our health organization and how we do it. And therefore, we need to return the triangle, the right side up, by using Provitality. As simple as that. So you now show them the place of TNN, home grains, the place of fruits, carotenoid, that is fruits and vegetables. Then for protein is omega-3 salmon plus, and finally multi for sugars and all that. Once you are done with that, you just show them the basic three model to becoming a director. This goes like this. First, you tell them, yes, you've joined the business and you've become a manager by adding 6 boxes of Provitality. For example, you have 250 points. The second step is you bring in 3 people who will also do what you did. And of course, you also have your 252, so that the 4 of you, each with 252 points, you are at 1,000 points and you're a qualified senior manager. The last one will be now duplicating step 2. The way you got to 1,008 points with your team, let the other 3 also do the same. And you with your new team, again, you get 1,008. The total is 4032, and you are a qualified director, just like that, earning your 50 to 90,000 Kenya shillings. Now, the truth of the matter is, some people, where we talked of 252 points, some people will do even 500 points. Well, it's also not possible to have 100% of all your people doing the 252 points. Somebody might just do 100 points. But you see, on average, we are working with that 252 points. Now, since you are the CEO and the leader of your team as a manager, supposing you are even to conduct your own meeting, how should you set it up? And even in our normal meetings, the general ones, how should you behave when you are in those rooms, those meetings? Okay. The first thing we are saying is that you need to participate in the meeting. As a manager, please don't take a back seat. What I've seen people do is managers expect that, oh, directors will do it. and they sit back. When you do that, guess what? You are denying yourself a golden opportunity to grow. Instead of doing that, take full advantage of the presentation and you participate. Even if it means just introducing the guest speakers and leaders. And then you need to be there on time. Don't come when the meeting is almost over. At least try to be there early enough. Then you dress for business. People look at your outlook before you even start talking to them. Sit in front, not at the back, not talking in the meeting, walking around, that is disrupting the meeting. Turn off the cell phones or put in silent mode, and no food or drinks during the meeting. That would be regarded as bad manners. And if you are to do a meeting, then you can also recognize people who are present. But often it's the directors who will do this recognition. So you recognize from new distributors going to managers, senior managers, directors, and then now the wound team, if they are there, that is the topmost recognition. Right. As we close, I want to say this, that yes, we've discussed quite a number of strategies, but these strategies will not work if you don't employ the right mindset, attitude. Success is about the person you have become. You work on yourself more than you work on the job or the business. So as a manager, I'm challenging you that this is the time that you should be very serious with the trainings so that you are reading, learning the game. This is the time to read the right books to talk about that will inspire you and motivate you to have the best mindset of a business person. Books that talk about possibilities. This is the time to convince yourself that you are capable of doing it. This is the time to convince yourself that you are going to take charge of your life and your business. So it's more of the mindset. Your business will never outgrow you. So make sure that you raise your bar so that you pull success upwards, not downwards. How do we know whether you have the right mindset or the wrong mindset? It's about what you talk to yourself and what you talk to others. It's about, do you give excuses when the business doesn't work or when you miss on meetings? Do you give excuses? You know, there are some people who get a disease called excusitis. Excusitis is the disease of just giving excuses for everything. Why are you late? Traffic. And you knew that you would get traffic, so you needed to leave your house much earlier. Why did you miss the meeting? I was tired. You know, excuses. As a manager, please try to lay off all the burdens, things that would slow you down so that you gain momentum. This is the time to really gain momentum. And by the way, it's also the time to dissociate so that you can associate. You dissociate with people who only pull you down. They don't see anything good in you. They don't see you achieving your dreams. You start something and they are there to pull you down. Dissociate with such people. People who talk only about impossibilities. People will tell you they were there, they never achieved anything. So what? It's your turn to achieve. They had their turn, they didn't. So when you dissociate with such people, now you associate with the right people. You are applying, you are working upline as one of the people to associate with. As I close, let me ask you a question as a manager. Who should be hunting for the other? Is it your upline hunting for you or you are hunting for your upline? Who should be hunting for the other? By the way, anytime you go missing and you are like quiet, you are not coming to meetings and all that, your upline is left wondering, is my leader still interested in building the business? One thing that you should do is share with your upline director, guide them on how they should behave in case you are not even picking the calls on a light note. But what I mean is, let's be the ones to seek for guidance and advice from our upline directors, not the other way around. Why am I mentioning this? Why am I talking about this? Because I have seen some managers make that big mistake of just sitting back until they are called by the upline director. That means you have not taken full responsibility of your business. If it has to work, it is up to you. It's up to you. You can never make anyone to be successful. You can only help them and guide them on how to succeed themselves. They're the ones to do it. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, I want to stop at this and wish us nothing but the brightest future. This month of December, I want all our managers to step up to senior managers or even director. And our senior managers who are accompanying us here, even executive managers, let's step up to the next level so that you live to share the testimony that December 2022, you closed the year in style. You closed the year as the next step. By the way, why should you go to 2023 the same person in business you were in 2022? Why not jump the year as with a new title? So I want to call all our managers brand new senior managers by the end of the month. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless your families. And let's be meeting in the beaches of the world. It's not about just learning. It's about doing. Doing is what will make the difference. So the remaining days of the month, today is 14th, the remaining days of the month, let's crush it. Let's go for it. Let's immerse ourselves into the job, and a great pay awaits us end of the month. And January should be one of our best months when people are crying of economic challenges, back to school, fees and all that. We should be smiling all the way to the bank because we worked our business out. Thank you so much. God bless you. It has been my pleasure to share with you the nuggets, and may you shine all the way. God bless you so much and have a lovely night.